Advisory services are offered through Creative Financial Designs Incorporated. A registered investment advisor, and securities are offered through CFD. Investments Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer, member of FINRA and SIPC. 765-453-9600. Diamond Financial Group is not associated with the CFD companies.
Good afternoon. This is Money in Motion. I'm Jason Murphy, your host from Diamond Financial Group, right there on the Square by Poets. I have had a couple of people that have listened to this show wanted to know how to get a hold of me, and there's a couple of different ways. You can simply call my cell phone at 252-0201. I would ask you to do that Monday through Friday. Again, that number is 252-0201. But if you have a question for me, for my show, for any of my guests, you can feel free to send your emails to moneyin.motion@cfdinvestments.com. That's moneyin.motion@cfdinvestments.com. So, hey, guys, I'm so glad to be here today, and I want to talk to you briefly before I get to my guest today about compounding interest. So many people don't really understand investing, or why are we investing. And there's a couple of thoughts that immediately come to my mind when I mention that to you. The first of which is, if you want to retire at some point in the future, how are you going to do that? How are you going to fund your life past retirement? And some of you may say, you know what, I'm going to work the rest of my life. I love my job and I want to do this until I die. And that's perfectly acceptable. In fact, Dave Ramsey says it is said in the Bible that the only time retirement is mentioned is as a punishment. I haven't personally verified that, is why I mentioned Dave Ramsey talking about that, but I've heard him say that multiple times, and the man's normally pretty accurate when it comes to those types of things. And so you may be perfectly happy working, at least to some extent, the rest of your life. I know my dad is about to turn 70 next year and is still working harder than I ever have, quite honestly. And it's just what he does, and he does it well, and he enjoys it, and it's keeping him alive. But at the same time, he enjoys taking some additional vacation times these days that he didn't used to when he worked full time. In fact, right now, him and my mom are on vacation. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary on a cruise going to Alaska. My brother and I were, along with some other family and friends, were able to surprise my parents with an Alaskan cruise. And so I'm praying that they are just having the time of their life right now, going up that seaboard and seeing whales and glaciers and catching some salmon and enjoying all that. But you have to prepare to be able to get to that point in your life. And I'm not telling you not to travel now, not to enjoy life now. I'm a huge believer in vacationing and spending and making those precious memories and moments with your family now. In fact, next weekend, I'm taking my boys up to see the ARC experience up in close to Cincinnati in northern Kentucky, and looking just so excited, so looking forward to spending that time with my boys and creating those memories. But retirement is still something that I know that's on a lot of your minds, and something that you need to prepare for. And quite honestly, I think we would all agree that Social Security in 20, 25, 30 years is very possibly, unless things drastically change, Social Security is not something we can depend on to retire on. In fact, I know for my age group, I'm 44 years old, and for people in my age group and younger, Social Security has already lowered the amount of money that you're going to receive twice already. And so I know that we're not going to get as much as we thought we were going to get. And I definitely foresee that dwindling down to almost nothing. So how can you prepare? You know, you're looking at inflation is going to increase what everything costs in 25 or 30, 40 years from now. You have to have more money coming in as income then than you do now. But you also have to find a way to live and balance between your bills and life now versus putting aside savings. And what can help you tremendously is this little magical thing called compounding interest. Albert Einstein said that the greatest power in the universe is the power of compounding interest. In fact, I'm going to pose a question to you all right now. If I were to guarantee you a income for the next 30 days, and I could guarantee you that I would pay you $100 every day for the next 30 days, or I could pay you 1 penny on the first day and double it the second day to 2 pennies and then 4 pennies for 30 days, which would you choose? Would you take the $100 every day, or would you take the salary, the pay starting at 1 penny that doubles every day for 30 days? I encourage you to do that math, and we'll come back later in the segment and I'll share with you the answer of the difference between the two in our third segment today. So you got to stick around to find the answer to that unless you want to do the math on that. So the point to compounding interest, though, is it can make a huge difference in your life. I just sat down with a young man that was outside of my office smoking a cigarette, and I went out there and I sat down beside him and I said, "Do you realize how much money you're spending on those cigarettes?" And he said, "Yeah, about $200 a month." And I said, "Well, that's not really all that you're spending on those cigarettes. If you look at the opportunity cost of what that money could be doing for you if you chose to invest that money." He is 24 years old, or at least I'm going to do the math on a 24-year-old. I'm not going to tell you the age of the young man I was talking to, but I'm going to do the math on a 24-year-old where the money will double every 6 years using the rule of 72. You can take your interest rate. I'm going to estimate an interest rate of 12% from age 72, or from age 24 until age 67. And I calculated for him, if he took that $200 a month and put that into an investment at retirement age, that young man would have $3 million. That's what those cigarettes were costing him, was $3 million, not $200 a month, which is outrageous enough as it is, by the way. I'm really anti-smoking if you haven't figured that out, and just want you to realize the opportunity cost of that $5, $6, $7 a day habit, whatever that is for you. It could be that grande cappuccino mocha latte thing that you get from Starbucks that's $7 or $8, but it could be something else. But I tell you what, we're going to take a short break. I will be back in just a minute with my guest on this next segment. Her name is Tammy Smith with Master My Score. She is amazing and going to talk to you about how you can improve your credit score. So again, my name is Jason Murphy, your host on Money in Motion. You've been listening to News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
Death and taxes, the only things that are certain, right? Everyone's in the market for a car at some point, though. That's what I found after living on this earth for so many years. Well, my frugal family found itself searching for a vehicle. With all my dad's advice from years and years of working on cars in the back of my mind, my husband and I strolled through car lots for over a month, searching for our perfect vehicle. Well, we found it right here in Cookeville. One rainy day, we walked into Nissan of Cookeville with a list of tough questions and a written down budget. Scott Davenport met us at the door, answered every single question, and addressed every concern we had. He made a potentially anxious situation as easy as I've ever experienced. So stop by and see my friend Scott Davenport at Nissan of Cookeville, or reach him at 528-7715. That's 528-7715. Nissan of Cookeville.
When we at Diamond Financial Group decided to open our new office, I knew I wanted to update my new computer, so I went to the professionals at the Computer Doctor in Sparta to discuss my needs. They took the time to find the perfect combination of professionalism and portability I wanted to effectively and efficiently do my job. In addition to great customer service, they also saved my business money by providing us with a state-of-the-art phone system that will surpass our business needs. Since then, the professionals there have always delivered every time I had a technological need. Call my friends at the Computer Doctor for your personal and commercial needs at 837-4357 or go see them at 180 Churchill Drive in Sparta. Again, their phone number is 837-4357.
Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy with Diamond Financial Group, located right beside Poets on the Square here in Cookeville. You can reach me by calling 252-0201. That's my cell phone number. Again, that number is 252-0201. Or you can email us at moneyinmotion@cfdinvestmentswithans.com. And I'm excited to hear from our guest today, Tammy Smith from Master My Score. Tammy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jason. Thank you for having me.
Well, it is truly my pleasure. And we're going to talk a little bit today about who you are, what you do, and what you can do to help some of the guests that are listening out there. There's a lot of people that don't realize the importance of a credit score. And there's some people I know that have had struggles, whether it's getting a car, which I, by the way, recommend buying cash or paying for with cash. But a lot of people do need credit to get a mortgage, to buy a home, to go to that next level in their life. And I know that's what you do. And so how did you come to be where you are in life? Just tell us a little history about yourself, Tammy, and how you got to what you're doing now.
Absolutely. I have been a long time entrepreneur, kind of working for myself for about 26 years.
Oh, wow.
I've done everything from owned a retail store to a travel agency, and at one time even owned a women's football team.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of different variety of things that I've done in the past. Then in 2008, I found myself working for an auto dealership when the economy got so bad and laid off. So the job search began.
Oh, okay.
So I was looking for something different, being that I had worked for myself before, kind of looking for something to do from home, and found a credit repair company out of Florida that allowed me to work from home and trained me to learn a lot about how credit works. The very first client that I took on, was referred to me, had been trying to buy a house for 2 years.
Wow.
So she would go to get her mortgage, go to see if she could get pre-approved, go to a lender. They would give her some advice based on her score. 6 months later, she would go to another lender after doing what they had told her to.
Right.
And had been in this process for 2 years.
Wow. Wow.
So
she was getting advice. She was trying to repair her credit score, but she honestly was getting advice from really the wrong people that weren't necessarily fully versed in how to repair or to improve that score. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So she was my very first client. So when we put her in the program, she called me 45 days into the program crying.
Oh, wow.
And I panicked. I thought, oh my goodness, what have I done?
Right.
I still get chills when I think about this today, because she was crying because she had just come from the lender's office with a pre-approval letter.
Praise God.
We were able to help her acquire her dreams because she'd been trying to buy for 2 years. And
in literally just 45 days, you guys were able to make that big of a difference in her credit score?
We were. Now, that is not always the case.
Okay.
Every single file is different. Every single person has different situations.
Right.
And there's so many things that go into not only the credit score, but the history, what the lenders need, that type of thing. So there's so many different variables that can affect someone. And that's kind of what we do, is look at an overall profile, look at what their situation is, what their goals are.
Right.
And we customize everything we do based on what their needs are and what they want to do in the future.
Okay, that sounds great. So do you consider yourself a credit specialist?
I did at one time because of working for another company, but now I kind of just look at myself as a credit coach.
Okay.
And more of a problem solver. There are a lot of things that I don't do, but I have trusted partners that do.
Okay.
So when someone comes to me and we're looking at their overall profile, if it's not something that I can do to help them, I'm at least going to guide them in the right direction to take care of those specific issues with the right things that they need.
Okay.
Kind of like going to a doctor. You feel sick, you can either self-diagnose,
right,
or you can go to a doctor. A doctor can tell you what's wrong with you, but a doctor might need to send you to a specialist to take care of certain issues.
I see, right.
So that's kind of what we do, is go through what someone has, what they need, and custom create everything based on what they need specifically.
Right. And being someone that actually has tried to self-diagnose some things before, if you start Googling symptoms, you can get really scared really quick, by the way. I don't recommend that. But that does kind of lead to my next question. Can someone do this on their own?
It absolutely can be done on your own, but you really, really need to be informed. Okay. I spend hours and hours learning what I do, and I've got 9 years doing this. So I've got 9 years of education behind me as far as what those kind of issues are, what those things look like. And I'll give you a couple of examples of people who have done this on their own. Okay. And one of those examples fits perfectly with your subject today, okay, and retirement. I had a client that was referred over to me, and I don't think I've said this, but typically the only way you find me is if you've applied for something, get denied, a lender will send you to me to get the advice so that they go back to that lender. Right. So we had a situation where a gentleman had been referred over, and he had over $23,000 of outstanding collections on his report. Oh, my word. That's a lot. However, when we look at a report, there's certain things we look for. Are the items reported accurately? Right. If they're missing information, if there's inaccurate information, incorrect information, a lot of times we can help people stop from making costly mistakes by doing things in the right order. Okay. He, instead of taking our advice, cashed in his $25,000 retirement fund, paid off all his collections, and his score dropped 100 points, and he put himself a year and a half out from getting his dreams. Wow. And getting his home. And I could have, with the right advice, had him in that situation in 3 months. Not to mention all the taxes and penalties he had to pay for cashing out his 401k, which also set him back probably 30 to 40% towards his retirement savings. Absolutely. Wow. So not only did he not get his house, he put himself farther out, and then he had no retirement to back up on. Mercy, mercy. Okay, well, this is fascinating, and I really hope that you, the listening audience, are listening to some of this advice. Oftentimes, if you're in a situation where you think you know what's going on, without a specialist, without someone that really knows what they're talking about, it's easy to really actually mess things up in the financial or credit score realm. And so we're going to be right back with more from Tammy Smith from Master My Score. If you want more information, you can at least look her up right now at mastermyscore.com. I'm Jason Murphy, your host on Money in Motion, and you've been listening to News Talk 1077 and 1400 The Hub.
646-5519. Those numbers may not mean a whole lot to you right now, but you're going to want to write this number down. My name is Jennifer. My husband and I, we're frugal people. While we like to get a lot of value for our money, to say the least, we stretch every dollar. So last year, we decided that we wanted to refinance a mortgage on our house. We did our research, and that's when I met Barbara Steeving. Her official title is loan officer. She's not just thorough, not just thoughtful. She actually anticipated my family's needs throughout the whole process of the refinance. And trust me, folks, when I say they were tricky needs. She was just amazing. Can't say enough about it. By the time the process was over, I called her my friend. You can be friends with Barbara. All you need to do is go to Willow Avenue in Cookeville next to Jackson Plaza and go into First Volunteer Bank and tell my friend Barbara Steeving that you're there to save money, and she will do it for you. The number is 646-5519. So stop by First Volunteer Bank and see Barbara Steeving.
Member FDIC insured and equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Jason Murphy with Money in Motion. I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Tammy Smith with Master My Score right here in Cookeville. You see, she's a credit consultant and helps people get their credit score up so you can buy that next house or an automobile. I recommend my clients call Tammy Smith to fix their credit score. For more information, go to mastermyscore.com or call 996-7375. That's 996-7375.
Welcome back to Money in Motion. I'm your host, Jason Murphy, and you've been listening to me and Tammy Smith talk about some ways that she can help you fix and repair, really, your credit score. If you're having some issues out there with your credit, if you're trying to buy that first home or maybe even refinance, and you have some credit issues that are keeping you from getting those best rates, and by the way, lenders look at your credit score not only to see if you're qualified to get the loan, but to actually assign you what your interest rate is going to be. And so the better off your credit score is, you may be perfectly capable of getting a loan right now, but are you getting the best rates available, which can make a huge difference in your future and how much you can invest if you're trying to save for retirement at the same time. So Tammy, what are some of the areas that you can assist with in someone's credit score? I'm sure there's many different facets. What are some of those areas?
Well, I've been able to help people from anywhere from that don't have a score at all, because a lot of people do pay cash for things, and they need credit, but don't always know the best sources to get credit.
Right.
So we offer a free consultation.
Okay.
So if someone comes to me and they have absolutely no credit, the one thing I can do is guide them to the right sources, or at least give them the questions that they should be asking when they're applying for loans to make sure it's going to benefit them the most.
Okay.
Not all creditors report to all credit bureaus. So if they're trying to build credit, they need to build with an account that actually reports to all three. What are the better type of loans? Short-term loans, longer-term loans. And it depends on what their goals are.
Okay.
But we've been able to help people with collections. We've been able to help them with charge-offs, whether they have low scores, no scores, too much debt, past due on their payments currently, if they've got charge-offs, if they have student loans and need assistance. We actually have a great program to help people with student loans. And even if they're past due, we kind of give them the advice of what's the best thing to do with them moving forward to make them less harmful for the rest of the rest of the time. One example that fits just, I think you're reading my notes. You're talking about the interest rates. Is I have people that get referred to me that actually do qualify for a loan. And one of the couples that was referred to me came to me from a lender that they had a pre-qualification letter, but they were about 3 points away from dropping in their interest rate.
Oh, wow.
So they were doing a home build, so they had a little bit of time, and we worked with them for about 3 months, got their points up to where they needed, and they saved $47,000 in potential interest in their home loan just by working with us for a couple of months.
Absolutely. Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Now, I know some people, in fact, I've referred a client to you that's on my mind right now, and someone that is trying to buy that new home, and you reviewed their information and even found where there was a possibility, and of course this wouldn't apply to everyone, but it was with a particular creditor that I'm not going to name that has done some things that, let's say, are questionable in their practices, and so you were actually able to get some money to come back to the client from a creditor who had done things the wrong way. Can you speak generally to that kind of topic?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have some partnerships with some attorneys that all they do is FDCPA, which are Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, and FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Okay.
The creditors are held to a specific law, the way the items report on a credit report, the items that are on collection letters, there has to be certain verbiage. So I have attorneys that will review not only collection letters, but actually the credit reports of the clients, and actually go after the creditors and debt collectors to actually get money back for the clients if there are violations on those reports at no cost to the client.
And would really help in two different ways. One, it's no cost to the client. It would actually help repair their credit score by going through that process, and could potentially get them some money. Is that right?
Absolutely. I have seen even debt get discharged because of the violation. So where they actually owe it, sometimes the violation outweighs what they owe, so they'll discharge it and remove it from the credit report sometimes.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. So I know some people are out there listening saying, I really need to talk to this lady. How can I get a hold of Tammy Smith? So we're going to come back to some additional questions. And we're going to give the information now, but I want to let people know that we're going to come back and give it again right before the end of the show. And I also need to give you that answer to the question that I posed earlier as well. And we only have a few minutes left. So right now, go ahead and give your information real quick.
Absolutely. Jason, they can visit my website at mastermyscore.com, and they can request a free consultation, and we've set up a special just for your guests.
Okay.
We do an analysis of someone's report, and if they get the report, we'll send them a link to get a report for just $1.
Okay.
And we'll actually run that analysis for them for free. It's not going to be as detailed, but it will give them general information and about 11 pages worth of credit history.
Wow,
credit
that's
information.
outstanding. So if they just simply go to mastermyscore.com, that's going to go straight to you. That's not like some big corporation that's going to capture their data.
Nope, comes straight to me.
Straight to you. That is your own, personal business website, mastermyscore.com, or you can call Tammy at 996-7375. Again, that number is 996-7375. And we're going to come back and give that information a little bit later, right before we close this segment. And I'm going to ask Tammy another question, but I just really don't want to forget to tell you guys, those that have been hanging on, wanting to know about that scenario I gave you earlier. If I gave you two options, one to take $100 guaranteed per day for 30 days of employment, or to give you a penny the first day and then double it each day for the 30 days. If you take the $100 a day, by the way, you're going to end up, that's pretty easy math, with $3,000. If, on the other hand, you take the penny a day, which will double each day, so the first day, 1 penny, second day, 2 pennies, then 4 pennies, so on and so forth. At the 30th day, you will actually be given, it'll end up being a total of $10.7 million. That is the power of compounding interest. And but we're going to get back to Tammy right now and ask her one or two more quick questions. Where does the information on your credit report come from, Tammy?
Actually, you are a great source of information on your credit report. When you apply for something, what you put on the application is where a lot of that information comes from.
Okay.
So if your name is Robert, and you just happen to be looking for a car that day,
right,
and you walk into the dealership and you tell them you're Bob, now on your credit report, you're going to be Robert and Bob.
And Bob, okay.
So if you only fill out partial applications and not actually give accurate information and be very specific when you fill things out, a lot of times that information can actually show up on your report as well.
Okay.
So that's just one place. Your creditors put that information on, and you actually have when your report is generated, it's actually looking for matching factors. So only 7 out of 10 factors have to match for something to show up on your credit report,
Gotcha.
Which is why there's a lot of times information on your report that doesn't belong to you.
Okay.
Because there's so many reports out there that there's misinformation on, and that's how some of it gets there. It's just because you might have a similar name to somebody that lived at a similar address, but enough of the factors might match to actually show it on the report.
Right, and so could end up producing some errors on credit reports that could adversely affect someone's credit score, and fixing some of those things could get them where they need to be for that next loan or to get a better interest rate.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So if for someone that is out there listening and saying, I know that this lady has information that Tammy can help me because I'm trying to get that home loan or whatever you're looking for, how does the process work? And so just kind of go through that, and you kind of did already, but just one more time, go through that stair step of events and how they can get a hold of you one more time.
Absolutely, Jason. If they go to the website, which is mastermyscore.com, they can just request a free consultation. When they do that, we're going to have them put money in the box, so that in the comment box, so that we know that they came from your show, so that we make sure that we do that analysis for free.
Okay.
So we'll have them put
so
money.
The key word is just money, MONEY, in the comments box. That's kind of their coupon code.
That's right.
Their promotional code from this show. show, which is Money in Motion. So simply just write money in the comment box, and Tammy will give you the discounted rate as a promotion for being on this show and listening to this show. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out there without even asking Tammy, but if you have someone, a friend or a dear friend or family member or someone that really they're coming to your mind right now, they're on your heart because you know they need her services, pass that on to them, and we will still honor that even if they didn't hear today's broadcast. But they need to act this week to make that happen, and she will get to you. So feel free to pass that information on. If you want to call Tammy, her number is 996-7375. Again, that's 996-7375. Go to mastermyscore.com to start the process with her. If you have any questions, feel free to call me, Jason Murphy, at 252-0201, or email me at moneyin motion@cfdinvestments.com. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed Sunday, and thank you for listening to Money in Motion. Again, I'm your host, Jason Murphy from Diamond Financial Group, right there on the Square by Poets, and you've been listening to News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub.
Advisory services are offered through Creative Financial Designs Incorporated, a registered investment advisor, and securities are offered through CFD. Investments Incorporated, a registered broker-dealer, member of FINRA and SIPC. 765-453-9600. Diamond Financial Group is not associated with the CFD companies.
This July, my wife and I will be celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary. I am so excited, and I want to do something special. To celebrate this amazing event. You see, it was about 10 and a half years ago that I proposed to my wife, and at the time, I couldn't afford to give her the ring that I wanted her to have. So this year, I'm going to surprise her with not only an anniversary band, but I wanted to do something special to replace and improve her engagement and wedding band. I looked around and asked many people who could do the best job for such an important event, for such a special person in my life. Let me take a minute of your time to tell you about a longtime friend of mine from high school, Matt Phillips. Matt Phillips is now the owner and master jeweler at the Jewelry Emporium. I have been working with Matt and the professionals at the Jewelry Emporium to create the perfect ring for this special occasion. When you're ready to pop the question, or you have that special moment in life that you want to celebrate with the perfect ring or jewelry, the professionals at the Jewelry Emporium will take the time and pay attention to every detail to make sure your moment is right. Call my friends at the Jewelry Emporium at 526-8366 to celebrate your next big event with that perfect symbol. Hi, this is Jason Murphy with Money in Motion. I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Tammy Smith with Master My Score right here in Cookeville. You see, she's a credit consultant and helps people get their credit score up so you can buy that next house or an automobile. I recommend my clients call Tammy Smith to fix their credit score. For more information, go to mastermyscore.com or call 996-7375. That's 996-7375.
Affordable, effective, reliable, and proven. Since 2001, Painter's Dream Productions has provided website design and audio-video production services. Since 2008, we've added social media marketing and search engine optimizations to our portfolio of services. Our job is to take you to the next level. We have an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau, and to see our work or for more information, visit us at paintersdream.com. Would you like a free consultation? Call 931-488-1002.